Tom, thank you for joining me and having a chat and going over everything Iris. So let's just start off the conversation from your input. What are you seeing in terms of trends? Where has all of this come from your perspective?
Thanks, Max. Good to chat with you. I mean, really, this product was born out of a partnership that we have with the Red Bull Formula One racing team, and really almost the most extreme environment where noise impacts clear, concise communication between driver and pit wall, or Christian Horner on the pit lane and his team of engineers. And we fixed the problem of essentially solving that noisy problem with machine learning. And then we thought, hold on a second, this in itself is a product that can solve a good many problems, particularly as in that moment we had been locked away. So we were in the middle of the pandemic and we were on hours and hours of Zoom or Teams or Google Meet meetings. And background noise was such a key problem in the flow of the conversation. This mute-unmute dance where people are trying to have a conversation and you're just constantly distracted by the ebb and flow of daily life when you're working in your home environment. And not everybody can have the luxury of having a separate office in their home. Maybe they're working at the kitchen table or the dining room, or even, in amongst the other activities that are going on in the house. So how can we solve this problem in real time using some clever machine learning? That's what Iris Clarity is, as a desktop app for Windows and for Mac, but also then, and why we're here at the CCC Expo, for bigger enterprise level platforms and contact centers. So implementing that on the server side with various dialers or CRM systems that they may use over VoIP. And then of course, the real thing there is that's also now moving to a hybrid model. A lot of people in contact centers are working from home. So how can we up the professionalism of that home working setup and allow them to have incredible conversations with their customers and improve that conversation? And then we've spoken a few times today to other people here about breaking down those barriers of what it means to have a good conversation with your end customer. And of course, it's important for that experience, but it's also important for the call center operative. If they're doing, many tens, if not even to, 100 plus dials per day, they're also having to contend with the noise that's at the customer's end. And Iris Clarity solves this because it's bi-directional. So we're not only solving the noise for the person that's at the end of the call in terms of the customer, we're also solving that problem at the call center end. So it's a problem that makes everybody's experience far superior. And as we think about this world where we've become far more tuned into employee well-being, this is something that can help them take away a problem in their day that essentially is impacting their cognitive load.
Yes, exactly. This is a conversation I've been having a lot today where people are trying to find that balance of the work from home, but also not the stress elements as well of not working for it. So it's great to hear that you guys are bringing that impact in and you're seeing the results come from it. Where else do you see this conversation going in the next 6 months to a year? Because obviously we've seen such change in 18 months. Where are you hoping to kind of take Iris going forward?
Well, Iris at its core is an audio company that does a lot of different things. So we're all about the emotional connection to audio, whatever that might be. So it's music, but it's also voice, it's podcasts, and it's things like learning. So this is a technology that creates a unique neurological activation that heightens what we call active listening. And that has huge benefits for things like learning, memory retention. And we have some science that shows how when you engage some of our other technologies that active listening component is there and your brain is more engaged in the content. I think really what we're trying to do is bring audio more to the forefront of our thought around sensory inputs. One of our investors is Roger Taylor of Queen, the drummer for Queen, and he actually made this really key point. He said, we've moved so far forward with visual technologies. You think about, I was looking for a new TV the other day, 8K. I didn't even know what I couldn't see the difference between 4K and what we had before. Yet audio has moved backwards over the last 50 years. Why is that the case? So we're trying to make audio a more primary information source and sensory input versus where we've been in the past. And solving noise and interactions between customers and call center agents is just one of the problems we're solving, and that's where this Iris Clarity product comes in, simply running on your machine in the background and isolating the voice, removing the background noise, empowering better conversations.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, this is a conversation I like to have because I'm an audio head. Obviously, I've been doing podcasts for the past 10 years. My background is in radio. I find audio so important, and having conversations is the best way to do it and get that message across. So you mentioned obviously what the platform is doing. What are the main kind of stumbling points that organizations, call centers specifically, are having, and how do you really want to kind of take the audio advancement forward?
So I was talking to Stephen Yap earlier from the Call Center Management Association, and really when the pandemic happened, all of these companies had to figure out solutions and almost had transformation thrust upon them.
Very much so.
The call center agent was armed with a laptop, a headset, and maybe the company might have made sure you had a good Wi-Fi connection and nothing else. Sometime we're now moving into a world where this is a little bit more like, for many people, a gig economy, where they may be turning on and having their work list of what calls they need to manage, and their environment is not optimized for that. So how can we erode one of the barriers to good conversations?
Yeah.
And this is why we're tackling this problem in this way. And it takes away a stress in the day where they're thinking about maybe a target, they're thinking about call resolution time, they're thinking about a customer complaint, a net promoter score, whatever the stat is that they're already feeling the pressure of. This is just one less thing to worry about. I don't have to worry about my housemate rocking up, or the dog barking, or the seventh Amazon parcel I've had turn up today, turning up and the doorbell ringing. So, we're not saying we're solving all the problems. We're just breaking down the barrier of solving this particular problem, and we see it in the insights that we're tuned into as a fairly high up the order problem that is facing the contact center industry and how they manage their customer interactions. Also, obviously, as we settle into maybe a more hybrid working model where people are returning to the office, we're obviously able to facilitate more enterprise level and server-side solutions as well, whatever VoIP dialer system they may be using. So this is just about solving a problem around noise and things like capacity. You've got a bank of desks and you're trying to get more people into your call center for your profitability. Yeah. How do we do that without it being like a noisy babble in the background? Well, Iris Clarity can step in and solve that problem.
Yeah, well, it's a great solution that you guys are offering, and it's something that we've seen so many articles around of the noise angle of being back in the office and taking that out. So it's great to hear your input into what you guys are doing, and I wish you all the best of luck, and thanks for talking to me today.
Thank you, Max. Appreciate it.